Welcome back guys to the top 10 best anime series of all time. It's been quite a while since I've uploaded a video, but you've got to understand guys, right now I'm in my second year of uni and basically I've got no time and I'm working part-time still on the weekends, or weekends or just don't even exist for me anymore. So sorry about that. Anyways, we are finally down to the last two anime, and out of them all, this is the anime I want to talk about the most. Before we begin, if you have not watched my intro video, I explain my basis of this list, and so you must watch it before watching this video. With that said, we can begin. Actually, before I begin with the usual, I'll have to briefly explain how this makes this list, as these are, as I've already stated, anime that are completely finished. So basically, even though the manga is ongoing, the way this anime ends is absolutely beautifully concluded. Like, I read it in the manga, the point at which this anime stops a few years ago, and even though when I read it I knew there was a following chapter to read, I'd really felt that the anime did end. Like, that's how amazingly it concludes the anime. So yeah, even though it'll continue in many years to come, it is the exception. So let's begin. In number 2, we have Hunter x Hunter 2011. The premise. This anime is set in a fantasy world where hunters, who are just humans who are strong and extra capable, go on adventures and missions undergoing all manners of dangerous tasks such as capturing criminals, studying the wildest of beasts, and searching for lost treasures in uncharted areas of the world, and so on. This premise is by no means unique in terms of the stories told today. The thing about this anime though is that the premise is largely developing one, just like One Piece. You really don't get to grasp how big the world they live in actually is. Like, in my opinion, the world building of this anime is the greatest thing about this series, especially the very final episode when you're made to realise just how amazing this world they are in is. Without spoiling too much, all I'm gonna say is that an ant in this anime is only an ant, but I'll leave it at that. So yeah, it gets a rating of 9.1 out of 10. The plot. The plot is one of the most simplest ever. It is simply about Gon, a young boy who finds out his father is alive and is one of the best hunters in the world, and that he had left him when he was just a baby. So his goal is to become a hunter and try and find out why his dad became one, and try to find him also. This right here is the outward, straightforward plot that is going for the story. However, Togashi, the writer of Hunter x Hunter, is literally one of the best of all time, as he has this hidden, underriding theme throughout the whole story, and that is that Gon is a subject of absolute innocence. And you see how he combines the two plots in this absolutely magical way, so that you really don't feel the other part of the plot until the Chimera Ant arc, which is in my opinion one of the best story arcs in anime history. As a young watcher, you really won't clock onto this storyline of innocence, but watching it as a mature watcher, you see it from the start of the series, how every single character besides Gon realise and comment on Gon's behaviour. Like, I'm really struggling to explain this whole concept here without spoiling, but basically, the character progression of pure innocence influenced by one's surrounding is the underlying theme of the anime. Honestly, it's hard to rank the plot for this one because of its genius writing, but at the same time, it's one that develops over time and is not seen from the first episode. And I've rated all my other anime in this list by its first impression episode, so to speak. So I've got to knock off a bit and give it a score of 8.8 out of 10.
答えられないとは。おい、カツオ。
はい、船長。
この二人も脱落者として審査委員会に報告だ。
どういうこと？
The characters. Where do I begin with this anime? Okay, with characters, I'm going to split it into two. The main characters, who get a lot of screen time, and then there's the other characters that come and go with the progression of the show. Firstly, we have the main character, Gon. Let's just spend some time talking about him, as he is who the whole subhidden plot is all about. He is, as you see from the start, the definition of innocence, to the point that he is almost one with nature. Yet you see from him that he is a very stubborn character, like he has to have his way all the time, and because of this, you see some of the best character development of all time, as the two are so contradicting yet so fascinating to see unfold. And the thing about Gon is that with every single other character in the series, they seem to get some development, and their dialect is always in relation to Gon's innocence. I don't know how to again, I still don't know how to describe it, but like, because all the characters are from all types of backgrounds. Oh, that's the one thing I've got to talk about, how amazingly Togashi creates characters from such diverse backgrounds. Anyways, yeah, whether they were good or bad, they see Gon and say the perfect judgments of his character. Anyways, then you've got the second main character, Killua, who is the absolute opposite to Gon, a kid who has gone through it all. Although they are the same age, they couldn't have had a more different upbringing. Honestly, the bond they have is so brilliant. It's like the brotherly bond both of them never had as they were growing up. And you have two others, Kurapika and Leorio, who are undoubtedly just so lovable. You just can't hate them. And as you see through the continuation of the story, they get less and less screen time. Then we'll talk about the other characters who in the series come and go, like the main villains. They, for me, are the best in shonen history, like as a combination for one series, because as characters they are absolutely unique. And you know why this anime is so brilliant and is this high on the list is because of the amazing character development each character goes through. Honestly, if you want to know what I mean, there's one arc in particular that is also the longest in the series, where the amount of character development each character gets is literally incomparable to any anime ever. It is simply unique. But you know what's so mad is that all the characters are just absolutely amazing. But it's weird because none of the characters are in my top 10. However, if I were to make a top 50 anime characters of all time, I'm not joking, from let's say 15th spot to 40 or 50, all of them would be Hunter x Hunter characters. That's how amazing each character is. There are hardly any characters where you think, oh, they're useless or you hate them. So it gets a rating of 9.0 out of 10.
品性は金で買えないんだよ、レオリオ。
The character design. This is a shonen anime, so you have that slight childish design in how the characters look, but there are some characters that feel absolutely realistic and creepy. You know I'm talking about Yu Hisoka. There's not much to speak about in terms of character design, but I'd like to comment on how amazing the diversity of characters and the looks that this anime has. It's nowhere near on One Piece's level, but I really rate it. There are no two characters that look the same. The design of the world they live in is absolutely stunning, so it gets a rating of 8.8 out of 10. The animation plus OSTs. This is an outright masterpiece in terms of how it is animated. Like, this is the first anime that I read from chapter 1 and have watched from episode 1, and I can say clearly that the anime has adapted this manga perfectly. I can almost say even better than what the manga was. The only downside I'll quickly mention is chapter 1 is left out and is shown as a flashback far into the story, which I reckon influences a lot of emotional attachment to a certain character, which influences a huge major arc. But honestly, if you want to get around that, I highly advise that you either read chapter 1 or watch Hunter x Hunter, the 1999 version, the first episode only, and then just continue from episode 1 of this series. Anyways, other than that, the animation for each fight is bloody gold, and the OSTs, don't even get me started on them. They are beautiful. There are notably about 7 episodes past the 100 episode mark where they are so damn brilliantly animated that I've rewatched them so many times. I mean, it's so good, yeah, that if I were to do like the top 20 episodes in anime, there's got to be at least 8 or 9 episodes just from Hunter x Hunter. That's how remarkable it is when it comes to this animation. It gets one of the best ratings ever of 9.4 out of 10. The level of entertainment. What can I say about Hunter x Hunter? It is literally the most hooking series I have ever watched, ever. And I know almost everyone can agree to this statement. Like, when I read the manga, I shit you not, I read 120 chapters in just 2 days. That's how much I got into it. I have never binge watched a series as fast as I have with this. And when I did, I was in second year 6th form. And if you don't know, a lot of people say it's the hardest education year of your life. And even though I'm in second year of uni right now, I can probably still agree to that statement. And yet I did that. That's how addictive this series is. And every single person that I have told to watch this anime, the next time I see them, they've already finished it. Like, they binge watched it also. Like, I'm not even joking, like every single person. I can name about 8 people straight up right now that rinsed the series outright. I have no idea what it is about it that just makes you want to watch the next episode, as there isn't like there's many cliffhangers. Maybe only 2 or 3 episodes end on a major cliffhanger out of 148, but just the way the story is, it feels like, okay, next. and then next, and then next. There is the major arc in the series where it's so gripping and so intense, especially when they enter the castle. That's only a reference if you've watched it, so it's not much of a spoiler. But yeah, you know you've got to watch like 20 episodes before sleeping. I'm not even joking. It easily smashes the highest rating on this list and any anime in general, and gets a rating of 9.7 out of 10. The unique trait. Again, like with Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, I really don't know what's so unique about this anime, because as a whole, it's just a masterpiece. However, if I had to point out one thing though, it has to be the Chimera Ant arc, which I honestly think is the best arc story ever told in anime and manga, bar only one, which is the Golden Age arc of Berserk, because you know, anyone who's watched or read that, you know. Anyway, during the course of that arc, I have episode numbers ingrained into my brain of how brilliant they were. Mute the sound now if you don't want to hear what episodes they are, but like 85 with Kite, 95 Gonjajenkin, 111 when they enter the castle, 112 or just the continuation of that, 116 you know that confrontation between Gon and Pito, don't even start on that, 125 and 126 the best fight in all anime ever, Netero vs Miriam, and finally 131, I don't even need to tell you what happened in that episode, you already know. And finally 135, the most emotional episode in the series. Okay, we're back. Like seriously, they are just on another level, to the point I remember every little detail of what happens in these episodes. But yeah, the depth that this anime goes into, even though it's just a shonen, I can't even put it in words. It's a masterpiece in storytelling. The audience range. This is the one anime that I think rivals Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood in terms of audience range, and may even top it, simply because it makes mature audiences much more passionate than you would be in watching Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. The fact that the main character is a 12-year young innocent boy just screams out for a young audience, but the action and adventurous story catches the attention of juniors and teenagers. Then there's the extreme violence in this anime. I've got to talk about that, how honestly the fights and some characters are just literally savages, which attracts loads of older teens. And then there's the deep underlying story of Gon's innocence that absolutely hooks the mature audience. I can honestly say it is an anime made for everyone. It gets a rating of 9.4 out of 10. The general rating. This has received all the praise it deserves. Honestly, it is loved by many people, especially since it ended only recently. Ever since it ended, there are many, countless to be honest, reviewers on YouTube giving it endless praise, yet absolute dismissal for the author for not continuing this brilliant story. What also was amazing about this is that at the time that the best arc was animated, it was when the bloom of live reactioners on YouTube occurred, so you had such a large audience engaging in this brilliant experience, which made this story blow up to how big it is. On my anime list, it has a rating of 9.15, which is the 5th highest on the website, with 246,000 people voting, and on IMDb it has a rating of 9.0 out of 10. Even though it is second on my list, you would think it would have higher ratings, but honestly, a lot of low votes come from the amount of episodes it has, and the fact from the onset, it just looks like a childish series. And thing is, as it's the longest running show on this list, people's attention span isn't quite that great these days. But either way, this ain't an anime that you need a great attention span for. You'll be hooked, guaranteed anyway. Finally now, for my opinion. What can I say? I feel like I've just talked about it in each criteria. I've gave my opinion on the show. Like, if you haven't watched it yet, I can't tell you how much you need to watch it. It's just so deep. It touches topics that no other anime go near. So philosophical and heart-touchingly emotional. And you know what's so freaking brilliant about this anime? It's the way that each arc is better than the previous. Like, the way I describe it is like an exponential curve on a graph. One that just continues to go up to infinity. And I don't know if you've read the manga, but oh my god. Where are you, Togashi? Bloody continue this greatness. Anyways, yeah, this anime has ended, and yet hasn't ended, yet makes it to my number 2 spot. Do I honestly have to say any more than that? Let's move on to the final rating for this anime, which, after doing my extremely sophisticated formula for calculating this score, it receives a whopping 9.31 out of 10.
こうしてゴンの旅が始まった。
父親の後を追いハンターになるために。
Thanks for watching my review / breakdown of Hunter x Hunter 2011. By the way, I know it's late now, but I do realise it's pronounced Hunter x Hunter, but I love to say Hunter x Hunter, so swear with you. If you liked what I had to say in this video, then drop a like and subscribe, and leave a comment of what you think of the series below. Peace, and see you in the next one.